Welcome to SpeakEasy Online. It's October 2021, and there's a valiant little group tuned in this evening. So yeah, there's a couple of notices. Um, we've got a book launch event happening on the 5th of November, and we're going to be presenting Grid by Mark Griffiths, aka Fernando Smith, and that's going to be at Cakes and Ale, 7:30 on Friday, the 5th of November. And we've probably got another author as well, but that's to be confirmed because we're having a little bit of a change there. But there'll be more
And
information coming on Facebook soon.
sorry, Phil, for those that can't get along, can we order things through you or
Uh,
through the
yeah,
internet?
yeah, or I can put you in touch with Mark because he's got books, and Bookends in Carlisle will be stocking them in due course as well. He's away at the moment, but within the next couple of weeks they will. All right. And then there's another event happening on the 9th of December. That's Thursday, the 9th of December. Can't really give you too much information about that at the moment, but you might want to make a note of it. Um, those who've been paying attention to Cold You Press, it's got something to do with biscuits or the lack of biscuits.
Why can't you say anything, Phil?
Oh, because I haven't quite confirmed it yet, but there will be information about that coming very, very soon. But yeah, I think people will want to come along to that because we may maybe get a special guest. Um, if everything goes to plan. Right. Okay. October is Black History Month, and in years gone by, Speakeasy poets have done some events at Tully House Museum in Carlisle, and they put together a collection of some of the words we shared in 2016 and 2017, and I think this year they're doing an exhibition. Um, I'm not sure what it's about, but it's probably worth checking out. Um, and this, yeah, as I say, this was written probably in October 2016, so that sort of dates it. And it's called The World's Dream, and it goes like this. I hear echoes of words not yet spoken, voices from those forgotten as people, contributing much more than a life lived in chains. Who deemed it acceptable, somehow socially or morally? Who dare to steal people away from their home and their family? Industrialized enslavement driven by profit. Zero-class citizens join the ranks of the oppressed by a system so crooked. Those without choice, women, children, the poor, the workers, folk with no voice. It wasn't right then, and it isn't right now, and never will it be. Our bones are the same color. We bleed the same blood. But we have a dream, for black, for white, for all. Dr. King knew, Rosa Parks too. But with young men killed on American streets, what's Obama gotta do? Remember the contribution of a multicultural fusion next time you hear blues, swing, rap, pop, rock, hip-hop, reggae and jazz. Sally, Ella, Louie, Billy, Nat, Bob, Diana, and Little Richard, and so many others. Singing of strange fruit, unforgettable, unforgivable crimes against sisters and brothers. As Michael once said, it doesn't matter if you're black or you're white. And I really think he was right. Let the dream live. Let it blossom and thrive. Spread across this small world. Keep our freedoms alive. It comes from somewhere deep in your soul, and it won't stop until they put you to sleep in a hole. From the cradle of life to the subjugation of a rainbow nation, the long walk to freedom and beyond. This history is our history. And that's that one. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. George, have you got one for us?
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Yeah, I was trying to look up something there quickly while you were talking because it was so much of that. But I was reading about an African slave girl, an American slave who was taken over to America. And then she started writing poetry, and they wouldn't believe that she could write poetry because she had educated herself. Today, it was an amazing story. If you ever look it up, it's brilliant. Anyway, I was going to read stuff from this, which is the Year of the Loch. Sorry, which was a wee while back, but it covers nature. And I went to the same spot at Castle Semple Loch for a year and just wrote poetry while I was there. So I thought I'd do October, strangely enough. Metallic. Sycamores dipped in copper, ash trees bronzed in the sun, larches in brassy blonde sway, horse chestnuts wave golden fingers, autumn cloak of many colours enfolds the wood, burning clouds melt the evening sky, flow into the loch, nature's alchemist turning all to metal. Thanks.
That was some great turns of phrase in there, George.
That was nice, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Alchemist and all that. Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you for sharing. Ginato.
Can you remember a few weeks ago, Susan had that poem, I think we did in a workshop, where if I was a food, I would be, if I was a bird, I would be, and so on.
Yeah.
I did it as homework, and as a bit of fun, I've come up with this. And it's called, and my poem name would be The Old Monkey. I'd be a round-winged sparrow if I could be a bird, sitting on the fence with an unassuming song. I'd be indecisive teal if I could be a colour, caught within the waves of life's green and bluey jade. I'd have to be a pie if I could be a food, with ever-changing fillings to match my many moods. If I were a stick of rock, words through the centre would warn my younger self to brush teeth, avoid a denture. If I had a superpower, I'd turn water into stout. And if you read my mind, you'd know what I know is nought. That's that. Thank you.
That was good. I don't agree with the last line though. No,
Oh no, I've been on Darren's epistemology class, and I think I do know nought. Yeah.
well, Darren Harper bamboozles people with his.
Oh no, it's not Darren. I just think no, I do.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, what I know is nothing.
No, I don't know about that. For future reference, Darren Harper also bamboozles people with his courses.
Yeah. It's good bamboozlement though, isn't it?
Yeah, you think, I learned something. I don't know what it is, but I've learned something.
Yeah, I'll read my notes tomorrow.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank
you. Tom, what have you got for us?
Well, I'm enjoying the autumnal theme that seems to be emerging to some extent this evening. So this is a poem that I wrote in the early autumn / late summer of this year, and it's called Black and Shiny. Like nature's annual sweet shop, the time has come for me to stop and ease quietly and methodically to gather into a rustling bag an hour of selective plucking. An autumn evening after yesterday's rain, full day's warmth to sweeten and swell, while Heaney's blackberry picking with its succulent rhythm and soft rhymes lolls at the back of my brain. The biggest and best I pop straight into my greedy gob, savouring their sunny taste. I witness crushed verges where earlier foragers have found favour before me. Reject the hard and spoilt ones lurking. My fingertips stained deep, I try to handle them gently, a special soft grip, then tumble into my ever-heaving bag, the evidence of my working. My canfuls didn't smell of rot, the brambles fresh into a pot, quickly mulched and syrup formed, then cream, sugar, lemon juice slowly turned and thickened. Freezing, grinding, paddle churning, as if by magic, viscous changes, chilled empty tub ready to fill, chance to lick the excess drops, vibrant, purple, raging bright, ice cream magicked, tummy yearning. Thank you. There's nothing like a bit of homemade ice cream to make a man smile.
Oh, it was great. He's so evocative with the colours and the descriptions. Yeah, yeah, that was great. Yeah, I was picking a few blackberries and that myself. So yeah.
It was a good, I think it was a good season this year. For whatever reason, I don't know what it was, but it seemed like a good season.
Yeah. Have to fight the birds off for them though. I mean, oh yeah, yeah. Autumn's a great time of year, isn't it? There's all sorts going on, as you say, fruit and the changing of the leaves and yeah, there's lots to see. Cool. All right, Hazel, what have you got?
Unmute me first. Can you hear me all right?
Again, fantastic, loud and clear.
Okay, so this one, I've called it Live Each Day, and it's live each day like a list poem. Wait grateful to have emerged from the night and your night terrors unscathed. Savor each delight in your day, you may never have another. Find love if you can, it mostly lives where poems do. Nurture passion and joy wherever you find it. In the old soul-focused gaze of a newborn, an uplifting riff, the drifting scent of a rose, captured sunshine on buttercups, a shaman's wisdom. Share smiles and embrace serendipity. Pair the ridiculous with the sublime. Do nothing to damaging excess or extremes. Build pebble towers on shorelines and mountain tops. And Baz Luhrmann is right, wear sunscreen. Though as with life partners, choose well, not all protect as they should. A bit silliness really, but that's it.
Great.
Thank you.
There'll be wisdom in them words there. That was really terrific. Yeah. Thank you for sharing it with us. We've missed you.
Oh, I realised, goodness, I haven't actually been to a speakeasy since March, so
Yeah.
I kind of feel I ought to apologise. The summer kind of, yeah, grabbed me in other ways, I guess.
No, we don't normally do it in the summer. It was just, with circumstances being what they are. But you've been out walking in the Lake District hills and things, yeah?
Yeah, our walking group go out generally on a Wednesday night. Not now that it's too dark now, but yeah. So that tends to. We're not usually back till about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it feels a bit cheeky to go right. I'm here now for the last. I've not been listening to anybody else, but I'm here now. That's a bit cheeky.
Oh, well, it's good to hear you again, and hopefully we'll
Thank you.
see you again. And we've also, we ventured back into the real world as well. We've got a speakeasy in real life at the Source in Carlisle next Wednesday. And yeah, so we're in this hybrid world of some of the time we're on Zoom, some of the time we're in real life. It's fun and games.
Mix and match.
Yeah, and we're pairing the ridiculous with the sublime.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, I'm going to try and share a link from that Fernando Smith sent, but he's only sent me a YouTube link, so we'll see what I can do. This is a song that he wrote, which was inspired by a poem by Nick Pemberton, which Mark performed at the book launch for Nick's posthumous collection, Eat the Peach, which Francesca put together, and is available from all good bookshops and disreputable ones as well. So that's well worth picking up. Let's see what happens. And if you can't hear the sound, tell me and we'll start again.
I lean on a wall in Corbridge, I pull up the drawbridge, disengage, retreat into the sandy land of language. He skates the curls and turns of an Arabic script, a dancing calligraphic fool standing on a hill, the slow leaning forward of a stick stuck in snow. So it goes, so it goes. We went skiing and seeing, we never missed a trick. We went to take a look, and God knows it was an open book. We talked talked until we were spent. The usual train arrived. We were left to reinvent our lives as if they counted.
It's a lovely guitar sound he gets there.
Isn't it? It's exquisite, isn't it, really?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to me again, I think. I've got this one. A couple of you may have heard this because this is what I sent in for the Borderlines competition, and it was sort of inspired by these meetings. It's called You Don't Know. And you don't know just how much it's meant to me just to see your familiar faces. While we may not have congregated and kept an unsocial distance, my screen has been a portal to see the sparkle in your eyes, to hear the magic in your words. It brings me comfort, wrapping around me like an old frayed blanket, reminiscent of an outlawed embrace. I see your postage stamp sized room in a postage stamp sized square on Zoom, and I wonder where we've been. What have we been through, dipping out and in with an unstable Wi-Fi signal? Me and you and you and you and you. Unmuted, our newly acquired wisdom we confide and appreciate the thoughts and reflections of others, like the rumbling tumble of the tide. Hands wave back and forth with joy. These times, these strange times have shown us how precious sharing is. We cherish the company of others, long for our communal meetings of friends and eccentrics, surrealists and those who just listen. A trying time, a testing time, has, I feel, strengthened our connection. And there you are. Thank you. And yeah, the theme was connections. I thought I'd bung that in.
It's a very nice poem, Phil. It's a very nice poem.
Oh, cheers. Thank you very much. Yeah, cheers. Okay, we've got about 4.5 minutes before we do the time warp. Is that enough time, George, for you? Yeah. Okay. Over to you, George.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to make a wee plug first of all, though, because there's a couple of poems up somewhere. The ones on YouTube, certainly. I'm not sure, but the other might be in SoundCloud. So if anyone wants to hear someone reads better than me, because there's one's called School Orchestra and the other's called Skip Geel with Gulls. You'll actually get the paintings as well, because it's part of an exhibition on in Fife at the moment with the museums in Fife. I think it's under Artistic, ART-ASTIC. But the girl that reads School Orchestra, the lady that reads School Orchestra, yeah, it's brilliant. Well, I think it's brilliant. Anyway, I'll actually do another one from the year of the Loch, which is November. I'm sticking with autumn, Tom. And oh, by the way, I was back in the kitchen with my mum when you were doing that stuff about picking fruit, etc. And also remembering when you went to bed at night and your hands were all stained and scratched. And when you shut your eyes, all you could see was brambles in front. You kept reaching for another bramble. You know, it was great. Anyway, sorry, digression into the poem called November. The loch has vanished in a palette of grey. On the far shore, browns and golds of autumn are muted by a screen of chiffon mist. Yellow grasses mirrored on the water begin to ripple as a breeze drifts westward. Swans and ducks heading for the lone man holding bread add crisscrossing patterns on the surface, surrealism of light and dark. Overhead, geese gather, beginning of a skein heading south. Thanks.
Yeah.
Any poem that gets skein into it is a good poem.
Yeah.
Skein or skein? Is skein posh south? Skein is Scottish?
No,
don't
I
know.
always called it skein, but also always used to get confused because my mother used to talk about a skein of wool, and you used to have to sit with your hands up whether she unwound it and put it into a ball. So Hazel,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Hmm.
You know, maybe it's just a way of keeping children quiet. Sit over there with your hands up.
No, I think, yeah, Hazel, you're agreeing with that then, yeah? Yeah. Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, there's probably a poem in that, isn't there? The skein of geese and the skein of wool, whatever. Yeah. Cool. We've only got a couple of minutes. If I push the reset button, we come back in, and then it'll be Jeanette. So was it that taking you back to sort of childhood with the wool and things, Hazel?
Definitely, yeah. Like my mum used to sit me with it, you know, you had to, and then she'd just whip round. But maybe you're right. Maybe it was just a Scottish thing for keeping children quiet.
I'm fascinated to know if the two skein, you know, if the words come from a similar root in some way.
Be
I should
really
look it up.
interesting. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Although I do wonder if maybe skein is an abbreviation of something that's maybe from Gaelic or something like that. Or Gaelic, sorry. I always get it wrong. It gets cracked around the head by using the Irish version instead of the Scottish version. I've got a friend that leaps off the seat shouting at me.
Just keeping you right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, cool. Okay. Jeanette, what have you got for us?
Okay. I'm chuffed to say this is actually being published just today in Harry Gallagher's Up magazine. And it's a poem that was inspired on New Year's Day 2020, back before we knew any of this was really going to happen. So it's how things were then, and we'd had a bit of a curry with the neighbours. So it's called Washing Up on New Year's Morning, 1st of January 2020. Can't see with my glasses on. That's not part of the poem, by the way. Scraping the curry off last year's plates and rinsing off lips of stale ale, I can still taste the laughter as glasses clink in the clouding sink where turmeric leaves its sunshine stain, and uncrossed knives remain uncrossed, with a glint for those who make you glow and glow themselves like saffron with a wink of chili. Washing up, not washing away, still savouring, forever savouring the spice of camaraderie. That's that.
What a great poem.
Yeah.
Thank
brilliant.
you. What I didn't put in there was I started that New Year's Day with a black eye. It was nothing sinister. What it was, my eldest daughter was doing yoga at that time, and she was doing this, I don't know what the proper name of it is, where you know where you have your hands down like that and you try and put your knees on here. I used to do it when I was about 8, and I hadn't done it since I was 8, but I thought I could do it again, you know, after a few Guinnesses. And there it was on the laminate floor, and the next thing I knew, there was this just big thud on the floor, and the whole room went silent, and the thud was my head.
Oh, man.
Then the next day I looked like Ziggy Stardust with this bruise that was coming along with.
Oh dear.
So
I think
that's
that'll
another
make it, I
poem.
think that'll make a very good poem as well.
Yeah.
That'll be a second verse.
Yeah, your life in poetry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that with us, and the
Thank you.
story as well.
It's now on YouTube.
Hey. Fantastic. Okay, Tom, do you have another one?
I'm just going to share an image of a painting, which you may have seen before. Does anyone know what it is or who it's by? Famous British painter.
It's not
Is
off
it a
the-
David Hockney? I'm
It is
not
a David
sure.
Hockney. I knew someone would get it. Yeah, it's a David Hockney. And it was painted, I think, about 1970, 1971. And it's called Mr. and Mrs. Clark and Percy. It's called Mr. and Mrs. Clark and Percy. And I was at a thing some time ago where we all had to write a poem in reaction to an object that your neighbor gave to you. And so my neighbor around the table of about 10 people gave me an image, gave me a piece of paper with this image on it, and with its title, so Mr. and Mrs. Clark and Percy. So I just wrote a short poem in reaction to this image, and this is how it goes. So it's called Mr. and Mrs. Clark and Percy, my poem. We didn't want, oh, I put my glasses on so I can actually read it on my phone. We didn't want this at all. At all, we didn't want this. We were suspicious of you from the moment you arrived. Percy got it right. Don't include the lampshade. It's hated by us all. Oh, and she got the memo to dress up. I didn't. Thank you. He just looks so grumpy. He looks so grumpy.
Yeah, then neither of them look best pleased, do they?
Neither of them do, no.
And the cat's turned his back, or her back.
Percy got it right.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's my visual stimulus for the evening.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing the way a painting or photographs or some kind of visual aid can spark off ideas in lots of different ways for lots of different people in workshops. It's it's a good little way of instigating some creativity. Yeah, it's good. Cool. Hazel, do you have another one for us?
I do. I won't. I think it's probably self-explanatory. It's called Just Women. And I think it was the weekend round about the 5th of September that was the 40th anniversary of the original march. So I started with a quote. What Greenham teaches us is that you should never doubt that a small number of people can make a difference. Even if you don't think you can do anything, you should do it anyway. And that was from Sue Lent, one of the original walkers to RAF Greenham Common. Just women, ordinary women, bloody women, hippies, harpies, witches, hags, mad women and unfit mothers. They were demonized as they weaponized traditional notions of womanhood, radically resisting decisions made in the world of warmongering men, manufacturing nuclear warheads. 40 years ago, those women marched from Newport to Hungerford and on to Greenham Common. Their march garnered meagre attention, so they stayed to blockade the gates for nearly 2 decades. Unapologetically outspoken, unafraid to take action, they awed, inspired, politicised a generation of girls and women as they endured privation to make power listen, resisted continuous harassment, attempts at containment, evictions, intimidation, arrests, faced off mounted warrior policemen with the simple softness of their bodies or soft-crafted webs. They danced on missile silos, occupied military space to protest a nuclear arms race. 30,000 women held hands to embrace the base. 70,000 women formed a 14-mile woman chain. Their camp was a flexible feminine fixture, evading all efforts of eradication for 19 years. Eventually, the last missiles left the base. Those Greenham women, they were something else. So that was my wee tribute. Thank you.
Thank you for
Oh,
sharing.
tremendous.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's important to remember things like that, you know. They're important.
Well, I think, sorry, but I think again, one of the things I was really struck by was just how little media attention there was at because they did another march on the anniversary, you know, from Newport all the way to Greenham again, and they had a weekend long of celebrations and things happening, and you know, there was a script in hand performance of a Bloody Women play. And I just thought how interesting. I came across that it was all happening because one of the organisers, I think, was interviewed on Women's Hour, you know? And I think luckily I happened to be travelling between, you know, work commitments. Otherwise, I would never have heard about it myself. And I just thought it's incredible. You know, here we are, 40 years on, and it was massive. But you know, it sort of barely makes a ripple in the media, in the you know. But anyway.
It's the hidden sexism. Sorry, Hazel. Like the other morning with the professor, I don't know if you saw it, I didn't see it, but in Good Morning Britain or something, they had a professor, they had 2 professors on, one was a woman, one was a man, and when they put the labels up for them, he was called Professor such and such, and she was called by her name.
That's really bad, isn't it? Just anyway.
Yeah.
It's a wee bit of the thing I was talking about the slave, that it's almost, as someone said, it's almost as though they don't believe a woman could be a professor. In the same way as they didn't believe that a girl who was a slave could write poetry. It's and it is men's assumption about what is the truth, and we lie.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's absolutely it, isn't it? You're both, you know, picking up on. It's an issue that I think we've become even more aware of, and when something like that happens, where, yeah, as you say, the example of 2 professors, and only one of them is given the title, it's just staggering, isn't it? Really. Yeah. Okay, I've got another one. This one goes like this. It's from a shorter poem I'd written before, and it's expanded a bit, and some of you may have heard this before. There's a beat, there's a rhythm, there's a sound. It grows and it grows. How it does it, nobody knows. If you listen carefully, you'll hear how it echoes down sleepy side streets, sneaking out in the black of night, tiptoeing across well-worn cobbles, a conspiracy of secrets, whispers in the wind, a raindrop's memory of another time and state of being. Somewhere, back along the endless cycle, moments frozen in time, released from an icicle, through a steady drip, drip, drip. There's a beat, there's a rhythm, there's a sound. A song in search of a tune, a timeless quest for the perfect melody, choral singing at daybreak, mirrored by the evensong rhapsody. Nature's masterful composition, arranged between feathered soloists. With open ears, we hear it. With open minds, we'll delight in the discovery of the new, the music of the spheres. It's owned by no one, belongs to me and to you. Wrapped up inside the rattle and hum of the everyday, words, sounds, pictures, and ideas, a great swirl of stuff, magnificent stuff, such stuff that dreams are made of, makes us and takes us to a place. Maybe it's Main Street, maybe it's mainstream, maybe it's underground, maybe it's below your feet. There's a beat, there's a rhythm, there's a sound, together, apart, lost and found. We know not what is to come. Time is an illusion with which we fool ourselves. We stare into the eye of a storm. Dare we unpick the riddle of our messy lives? If we look up at the infinite realm beyond, the stars will take us back in time, to before we walked this Goldilocks world. Ask, are we responsible guardians? Sometimes we stray from the path. Do we need a reason to die? Shouldn't there be more reason to live? We can set out upon a new course if we really try, and the challenge we meet. There's a beat, there's a rhythm, there's a sound. Together, apart, lost and found, we're connected right around the world. Find yourself a song. Discover the music within you. Scribble down words, weave and sew, frame that perfect photo. Draw and paint. You'll be amazed at what you create. And you never know. We might end up back at the source. If you're waiting for a spark to start, light the fuse you can't refuse. There's a beat, there's a rhythm, there's a sound. Together, apart, lost and found, we're connected right around the world. Like the love in your heart, there's music in your soul. There you are. I don't know what it means, but there you go. Thank you. Okay. George, do you have another?
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Yeah, I often don't like giving long introductions to poems to explain, but I think I wrote this a long time back, about 12 years ago, maybe more. More actually. I was on a night train coming back from Glasgow Central Station, and I was watching some young girls across. Sorry, that sounded bad, but I was watching some young girls, and I suddenly pulled, and I went. I don't know about you. I get given all these notebooks and things, so you've always got someone with you to write, but you never have someone with you to write when you think of something. So I pulled out the train ticket, which is shiny, and the only pen I had in my pocket, which was felt tip. I don't know if you've ever tried to write anything with felt tip pen on a shiny surface. But anyway, I managed to get something down, and this is the poem, Night Train. Reflections in a glass darkly. Night train from Glasgow, all smiles and sleepy booze, short skirts for a short journey from delusion to innocence, cocoon from evening chill, throb of diesel heart, taking from night dream to awake back in reality. Thanks.
That was great, George. Very clever. Yeah, you encapsulated a lot in a very short poem. Yeah.
I was just watching these young girls, and they're so cheery and happy, but I also realised they were probably about 15 or 16 or something, but obviously had been drinking. But I mean, I'm guessing that they probably weren't even legally. And I suddenly thought they're going to wake up tomorrow morning, put on school uniforms, and go back to, it's like two different worlds for them. They've gone up to Glasgow to have this experience, and now they're going home. It was just all that. I just thought it was lovely to see people who were cheery and happy and innocent. But I hate the word, but you know what I mean. Just cheery and happy, young.
It reminds me of is it Train Spotting, where Ewan McGregor meets the girl in the nightclub, and then she takes him home, and then she wakes up in the morning, and he says, like, he meets her parents and thinks they're her housemates or something, and then she's like got a school uniform on, and it's like, oh my god.
I think I wrote a poem the other day which was about you wake up and you realise that there's somebody horrible lying beside you, and then you realise it's a mirror.
Oh dear. Janetto, what have you got for us?
That was great, George. I've just got to ask, have you kept the train ticket?
No.
Oh, as if the felt tip had adhered, that would have been a good thing to give him to him.
I had to write it quickly before, because as you were right, if I put my finger on it, all smudged off, it just disappeared.
Yeah. Did you wash your thumb then? Anyway, this is called, I pinched a couple of lines off Robert Frost here. It's called, And That Has Made All the Difference. The road not taken wasn't taken. My mind made me push down the latch, closing the gate to stay on the side of weekday caution. My heart winked at weekends from over the fence, promising brushstrokes and opening pages. When heart yearned to bolter with limbs light and free, mind tapped dance payslips, deducting the bills. My heart wanted Cocoa Pops, but mind poured out muesli. Mind warned of hangovers when heart raised a glass. My mind was too loud and my heart was too gentle. But one day mindful, mind stopped to breathe. And in that moment, when mind lost its mutter, it learned heart was the reason they both needed to live.
Wow. That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, really good. Okay, Tom, have you got time for one more? Or have you got to dash?
I have. No, I'm gonna do this one, and then I'm gonna slip away soon afterwards. This is a poem that I wrote. It's called Emotionless Kitchens. Emotionless Kitchens. And it was after I was walking with a friend who she was basically in the middle of separating from her husband, and we were walking after a really nice evening out together through the streets of Rickmansworth, which is in northwest London. And she was just telling me how tough things were for her at the moment. And she used this phrase, emotionless kitchen, and it just chimed with me. So this is my poem called Emotionless Kitchens. Where coffee machines don't choose to express, toasters don't spring up when they are pressed, dishwashers don't buzz, there's no gentle whir, kettles don't whistle, far too demure, doors don't creak, cupboards don't squeak, spoons don't tingle when stirred in a cup, drains don't gurgle, no washing up, no signals of love, no passion, sincerity, just sadness, despair, frustration, temerity. No note on the table, no shoes by the door, no cat curled up in the box on the floor. Emotionless kitchens ring empty and bare, cut off from the world, no feelings to share. Thank you. She divorced him soon afterwards.
Yeah. Did you read the poem to him?
I did, yeah. I sent it to her, she liked it.
Cool.
I
Excellent.
shall wait for Hazel's and then I shall slip away. If Hazel is reading another one.
Yes, I think. Yeah. See what Hazel's got.
I think I've read that one. Oh, I have actually read this one, hopefully a very long time ago, so nobody will remember it. But again, it's a bit of fun. Lonin Lullaby, or A Magical 50-Minute Hour. Whenever I'm inclined to twine, find my mind slip sliding out of line with harmony, to whiny, poor me, agonizing, I head into the breeze, where the wind in the trees whispers love to the leaves, that soughing soft singing, oceanic lullaby. A great grey shape soars across the sky, mere speck in my photo, but I know I watched a heron's flight over sweet honeysuckle entwining through hawthorn, rose bay willow herb in the verges, a bumblebee on a bright thistle flower, a hen scuttling by the hedges, not crossing the road, the bleating of sheep under a dramatic, moody skyscape. Yes, a poem is happening here. I read Nicholas Albury's To Know a Poem by Heart in the community of bramblebriars, ash, willow, elder, hazel, scarred oak trees from wind-broken boughs, some scars weathered over, some still fresh bleeding wood. The trees mirror us, or do we mirror them, chicken or egg? The 50-minute hour was never enough for me, yet a 50-minute loning lullaby and I'm recalibrated, grounded, blissful, poem loaded for free. This gift the loning shares unreservedly. Thank you. As you can see, definitely not a serious poem.
That was lovely.
Ah.
It was really, really lovely. Thank you for sharing it. That was good.
Nice to see you all. Have a enjoyable evening, whatever you do for the rest of it. See you again soon.
Thank
See you.
you.
Cheers, Tom.
Bye. Thank you for your
Bye.
poems. Bye.
Thank you
Take care.
too. Bye-bye.
All right then. Shall we go around once more and then call it
And then
a
there were
night?
4.
Yeah, it's getting rather Agatha Christie all of a sudden. Does that sound like a plan then? Well, maybe do one more and then, yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I was maybe going to read one of Nick's from the Eat the Peach collection.
Okay.
Right. So, it was a lovely event that they had at the old fire station in Carlisle to launch it, and I think Francesca's done a great job putting it all together. And there's a few familiar names have looked over it. I think Becca's done the proofreading, and as Francesca said, there's sort of proofreading, and then there's what Becca does, which is like it's like a superpower. It's tracking down all these rogue apostrophes and what have you. And yeah, there was a lot of great readers, and Owen and Diamond Dave and Fernando Smith and so many people. Barbara, loads of people read some great stuff, and yeah, it was a special night. And yeah, I think it's available from well-known bookshops and some disreputable ones as well. And so yeah, look out for Eat the Peach. I was going to read The Mad Accordion. Goes like this. Take the box, shake the box if you must, and you must. Snap the hasp and break the locks and take out the mad accordion. Let your fingers stroke its keys. Let its slinky plaintive wheeze lead you through the darkening trees to a landing stage upon a lake shore, where reeds creak and dandelions spore, and duck down, dance down to the water, where, beneath the silver surface, spiky perch fins glisten, and now, between heartbeats, you pause and you listen. This time, hold it close. Soon it will be gone, like the secret dreams locked in the heart of the mad accordion. So amongst the shadows of the builder's breeze block, open your shoulders, raise your head, play the mad squeeze box until you're dead, until every prodigal daughter, every runaway son, walks home across the wind-blown water on a winding stair of thought. Trade each note for the next note. There are only these, there are no more, and each note that's gone leaves nothing behind. No stepping stones lead back to the shore. Squeeze the mad squeeze box, squeeze diamonds to dust, or stretch air into insubstantial chains of melody. A living entity that still, through stillness, leads you on. Find yourself a key, play it as if you were free. Play it, play it, play it till time bends. Play it, play it, play it till you lose friends. Play it, play it, play it till the song ends. Play it all alone. Play it weary to the bone. Play it, play it, play it till your fingers are sore. Play it, play it. Now take a deep breath and play it some more. Silverfish like lightning play the mad accordion. Nightjars in the shadows play the mad accordion. The momentum in the breaking waves plays the mad accordion. The patients in their hospital beds walk through the trapdoors in their heads to play the mad accordion. Bugs Bunny in his Looney Tunes on a million TVs on a million afternoons still plays the mad accordion. Stretch a cage around the sun with the words of the mad accordion. Play me till I break, or the world is broken and I belong. Play me till each word is spoken, and each spoken word becomes a song. So says, or maybe prays, the man who plays the man who played the man who is played by the mad accordion. And that's the next poem, the mad accordion. Cheers. Cool. All right. George, do you have another?
Yeah. Hazel reminded me of something when she was reading her poem and about the relationship between people and trees. So I'm going to do from memory, hopefully, a poem I wrote when I was 16. The Scotch Pine. Lonely on a hillside stark and gaunt, the Scotch pine stands, sentinel of want. Dominates the moorland bleak and grey, bent forever the windy way. Am I a Scotch pine on the hill, and yet a person standing there so still? Thanks.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you very much. Cool. All right. Janetto, do you have one more?
Yeah, I was going to say that was great, George, and to remember that. I can't remember what I've written the day before, never mind when I was 16. But it also, to me, if you hadn't told me that, I would have thought that was written by somebody of wisdom, you know. So you obviously were very mature for your 16-year-old self. Yeah, very good. And back to Eat the Peach, I've got to say, I've got a copy, and it's beautiful, isn't it? The poems are great, but there's one called Don't Cry, and I've got to say it made me cry. I read it. Anyway, there's one here called Tiptoeing. It was from the visual verse prompt last time. I know you mentioned that to us, George, and it was a picture. I don't know if you can see it properly on here. It's like a key floating along a wire. So I called it Tiptoeing. Remember the game, the one with the wire? I'd hold my breath as you raised the hoop higher. You always succeeded. I'd falter and fall, but not this time. I'm breathing in and won't breathe out until the turn of the key, the soft close of the door, the buzz is no more. Nice. you.
That was really lovely. Thank you very much. Hazel.
I was actually going to read one called Everyday Magic. It's by Dr. Julie Carter. She's a retired GP, and I went on a poem walk. Well, Mark and I went on a poem walk with her, which was kind of like extreme poetry. She took us up Castle Crag and kind of, she's a fell runner. Anyway, but I love this poem. It's called Everyday Magic. How do you heal a heart that is broken? You stitch it up with love in time. How do you say what cannot be spoken? You weave it in a verse and rhyme. So if I could tell you the reason why I wake and take just one more breath, if I could tell you of the life inside me, the blood that's pulsed inside my chest, then I'd tell you a story of everyday magic, of sunset and moonrise and sea-washed sand, of how I live on the courage I borrow every time you reach out your hand. From the everyday magic of teacups and teardrops, from wagging tails and runs in the rain, it spun the thread to stitch my heart up, so I live and love and breathe again. There we go, that was that.
Oh, fantastic. That was great. Well, I think that brings us to the end of another Speakeasy Online. So thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause, everyone who read and listened. It's you guys.
Thank you, Phil.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, so good to see you. And yeah, we'll keep doing one of these a month. And as I say, we've got real life events as well. So if you can come along to any of those, it'd be lovely to see you, and lovely to see you in cyberspace as well. So yeah, cool. Some good words, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be more buzzing around. So yeah, I'll see you soon. But yeah, get home safe.
Thank you. Good to see y'all.
Thank you.
That one
Bye.
always makes me laugh.
Bye all.
That's great.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care. See you soon.
You. Bye bye.
Bye.